Hi, my name is Greg Keene. I want to welcome you to Toasted Soul. Toasted Soul is a podcast hosted by me, Greg Keene. Toasted Soul will be exploring technology news, business news, and just general rants on life. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toasted Soul. Today we have with us Krystal Voice. Krystal, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. I apologize for my background because I'm at my sister's house, so you'll probably hear my nieces and nephews. Yeah, I'm Krystal, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm an educator, I'm a dancer, model, a little bit of everything. Yeah.
I've noticed on your Instagram you have like some motivational stuff going. That's really cool. So can you tell
Thank
us
you. What is it that you'd like to know about it?
like,
In terms of the
how'd you get
entrepreneurial
into it?
part?
Like how'd you get into motivational speaking and things like that?
Motivational speaking, it kind of fell into my lap because I just recently went through a bit of a challenging time.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of my way to cope with it. It was my way to get my own self out of the emotional challenges that I was experiencing. And so, to be honest, I was off of social media for maybe a year and a half, better part of a year. And so, when I finally decided to go back on recently, really in February, it was a decision I made to as a decision I made to kind of just reintroduce myself and just to kind of pick up the pieces because I completely isolated myself. And so when I did, I started doing this speaking and speaking about specifically anxiety because for the first time I was experiencing all these emotions and things that I didn't understand. And so I figured if I didn't understand it, there has to be somebody else that didn't understand it. So I thought I'd share.
So you're trying to like share and help people, which is what I think we're all here to do. That's amazing. And of course, I see like there's lots of singing. And I did put in a request. I wanted to hear.
You did.
I did.
I forgot.
So tell me about your singing. Tell me about how that's going. And I remember going to one of your concerts like years ago. But tell me about your singing now.
The singing is good. It's always a good emotional release for me. It's my outlet. So, I mean, it never really stopped. And it's just kind of taken a slightly different turn. I kind of would describe my music now as inspirational-ish. So it's not gospel music like the traditional gospel music. I still have love songs because I think in my heart of hearts, I'm an R&B love writing, like that's what I do. So I've just kind of tweaked the way I write or maybe what I'm writing about a little. So I'm excited to hear what some of my followers think about the project I'm working on.
So where do you get your inspiration for writing the song? Experience.
Always, yeah. It's so if I'm writing about love, it's things that have happened or are happening, and it's always either my own experience or someone really close to me. I'm usually talking about somebody's business.
What are your thoughts about everything that's going on with COVID, Black Lives?
That's a lot. With COVID, I think it's a unique situation for our generation in that we're isolated in our homes, but still able to connect to people through like what we're doing through technology. Right. Whereas in the previous pandemics, like the flu of something the 1800s or something, 1914, I forget the date.
19, yeah.
then you're completely isolated.
And that's what I was saying about
So,
that too, that we're lucky we have the technology we have because
right,
it helps to keep us in like kind of
somewhat
together.
connected.
Yeah, somewhat
Hmm.
connected. So I couldn't imagine going through this where it's like we don't have video
Right,
conferencing and teleconferencing. It seemed like
right.
you'd be just really boxed in, and cabin fever would really take the best of
Would
most.
really kick in. Right. I can't imagine though, as I say that, I still can't imagine what people are going through, those that are like giving birth and aren't able to be with their families
Right.
or have lost loved ones. Like, to be very honest, I have mixed opinions about the COVID banner. I say that because I have mixed opinions about the media in general, and I don't like the way that their narrative paints certain things. First, so for that, I will reserve some of my commentary on that because, for instance, like my cousin passed away this week from COVID,
Hmm.
and I say COVID in quotations because, in my opinion, I don't believe that that is what he passed from. I and I know I'm going to get backlash from this, but if people were already ill from things, or like I have a hard time with the fact that if you look at the statistics, like all of a sudden heart attacks, the numbers in heart attacks are disappearing, or
Yeah.
strokes or whatever. Just everything's now, oh, it's COVID deaths. But the reason being is because some of these hospitals and institutions are getting funding for every label of COVID death that they put. They get funding for it. And so we also need to now consider with wisdom, are these numbers real numbers? Are they inflating them because of other reasons? So yes, there is really an illness going on. Are their numbers accurate? Are they using other deaths and tucking it in under.
I heard the exact same thing too, that they're inflating these numbers in that they're saying that everything that happens, as long as the person had either some symptoms or COVID itself,
Right,
they would just class it as a COVID death. And I don't know why. Maybe it is money. I heard that there's funding that was connected to COVID, which is,
right,
it's odd, like why they would be doing this, but who knows, right? Like we always,
right.
exactly.
And who's to say? So
Yeah,
I kind of reserve my comments usually because it's not an argument that I particularly want to engage in. Because you
right.
don't, how do you, what you, it's not an argument you win. People are dying.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And
a
in the end,
reality.
that's what it is. Yeah. That is reality. In the end, it's that people are dying, and whatever the
Yeah,
government, however the government wants to count them, it's a sad all
that's just the
around. Right.
reality.
Yeah.
Right. And then with the Black Lives Matter, that's a whole nother issue. Like, again, like, you're black. You are a black man. Like, are you okay? Do you know what I mean? For me personally, I'm not okay. I don't
Yeah.
watch the news at all because it is heavy.
Right.
It's depressing. It's hard to wake up every morning and hear another 10 other stories. Like, now they're hanging people, real lynching. It's disgusting. So for
Yeah.
me, it's too much. And because I know I'm already handling emotional things, like it's too much.
Yeah, when I look at the news and I see all these things, of course, yeah, it's affecting me, not just as a black person, but directly, even more so as a black man, because of my
Mm,
position in my community.
right.
And I see this kind of stuff, and it's nothing new. Of course, today everything is highlighted because we get to experience it like live and direct, right? And we get to
Because we can
experience,
see it now with the
right?
tech,
Yeah,
right?
more
But
than, and we're
it's not
getting
new to
more.
us.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like I was just talking to my the last person on here, and we're talking about the same thing, and it's like I don't think anything's going to change. I think there's a lot of noise right now, and it's interesting how it's worldwide. So that's good. Is that now it's like the veil is being opened a
That's
little bit.
new.
This is
Yeah.
real. Like it's like people are not
Yeah.
making this stuff up about the police, right?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see where we go once we get
Hmm.
back to the new normal. See
Hmm.
what kind of changes, what kind of real changes are affected. But who
Right.
knows?
And I think it's worldwide, and you might see more of a change, maybe not an entire, I don't know, but we might see more of a change because the reality is there are just more interracial relationships and
Yeah,
interracial families. So for the first time in history, there are more families that have Black males
Hmm.
in somewhere in their family. That's really why it's taken the world by storm, because historically, or when it was what the last real marches with Martin Luther King, and when it really took a huge wave, it was the we were still in segregation.
Yeah.
So
Like,
to
I
be
mean,
a yeah,
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, look at it as like we've been here before. It's just that today we are able to, you're able to see it more, and everyone is able to see it, and you can't deny it. The real trigger, I think, is when people were able to watch the life drain out of that man,
out
right?
of
And I think
yeah,
that really hit to the very nerve of all humans, because
of
before
yeah.
they could easily just brush it off. It's like, hey, there's lynchings happening across North America back in the day, and they're like, meh, right? But when you have, as a human being, you have something inside you, and when you have to
When you
watch,
can see it, yeah.
yeah, when you have to watch it, it's a more like visceral feeling. Like, you know what I mean? You can't get
Hmm.
past it, so you have to do something. You can't just sit there anymore and pretend that it's not really happening. I keep hope alive. I say I don't believe anything will happen, but I mean, like, still, I have to deep inside believe that there is a possibility of great change that could be affected by what's going on right now. That could become
Right.
what's going on right now. And watching like the politicians in the states wear the African banners. Did
Yeah.
you see that? I'm like, oh, that's just too much. Like, come on.
Yeah, there's a fine line between seeing the people that are genuinely like, yeah, Black Lives matters, and then there's the people that are using it as a platform to further their own agendas. And it's happening here in Canada too.
It's happening everywhere for
It's
sure.
right here. The different like social media people or influencers that are marching Black Lives Matter, and some of them are people that like one maybe don't even identify as Black individuals, that like people in Toronto know them personally.
Right.
Like, does it to you though?
That's
Like,
that. So you said you're a songwriter, singer, totally into music and modeling. Are you still modeling? Are you doing any kind of modeling right
I
now?
am. Yeah, I'm still modeling. I do like some commercials and acting here and
Oh,
there on the
awesome.
side. So whenever I get like an audition, I'll send it out. You know, if I get it, I get it. If I don't,
Yeah, yeah. I remember back in the day, like I had a friend that he was like a professional model, and he's always had me out to these things. I was always so uncomfortable, always so uncomfortable. The last one I went to was they're like, okay, it's like an underwear commercial. So they're like, okay,
oh,
I'm like, okay, I'm done.
it's meaning
I'm like, I'm done. I was like, nah, I'm good. So
put
yeah.
makeup on that nice shiny head of yours. Yeah.
It's an interesting
Industry.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's good fun.
yeah, it is. Yeah. You're out in where are you at? You're out in Ajax?
Yeah, Whitby.
Whitby. What's going on in Whitby right now? We're on the shutdown, but
I think we were on like a real shutdown probably the first month.
yeah.
First month, like there were, those like those hay dust pile things in
Yeah.
movies. Like
Yeah. Only
it was
the
like silent the first month, and then after that, it was like business as usual.
really.
Traffic again. Yeah, it's been the same.
Yeah, like for me, like being at home in the shutdown, it's like I'm always at home anyways. So it's like
Exactly.
it was nothing really changed to me. It's just that when I go to the grocery stores, I have to wait sometimes. But
Yes,
that's the only change that I see in my life.
that you see for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
So
also always home unless
yeah,
I'm at the studio or something. And so it was no difference. The hardest part, I think, for me is when it started getting sunny. And then they still want people to be home. I'm like, hey, now, wait a second.
yeah.
I've been
I didn't
waiting
think I was
all
gonna be.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been waiting all year for summertime. Like winter time, stay home, no problem. This is
yeah.
hibernation season. That's fine. But summertime, like I need a patio, like I need a picnic somewhere. Like it's
Right.
impossible.
And that's what I was saying is like I'm like, okay, a lot of people are staying in now, but as soon as the
Hmm.
weather changes, they're not gonna have any
It's
control.
no,
Like no one's gonna want to be in. They're gonna be like, no, I'm going out, right?
right. I still go up by myself, to
Yeah,
be honest. I find like an isolated space or like maybe just my backyard. But like those pictures you see with the thousands of people in the parks, That's a
Right.
little silly.
Even if they're inflating the numbers, like, why are you going to play
Yeah,
with
no,
it?
there's
Like, you never
yeah.
know. Yeah, you never know. And
Yeah.
even if not for your safety, for people
For
around you, their
others,
safety, yeah.
absolutely.
And I think that's what the key thing is. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. It's like I go to when I go to the store, I always wear my mask, and it's like
Yeah,
I'm a healthy guy. Like, I get up at 5 o'clock and I go running and I go training and I eat healthy, like total
yeah,
vegetarian. Well, kind
yeah.
of vegetarian. But I know I'm not sick, but I wear my mask
Hmm.
so I don't get sick, and so that if
Right.
I am asymptomatic, I won't get someone else sick.
Because the truth is, I really don't think they know how it's transferred. They don't know if it's transferred like airborne or hand. Like, I don't think they know.
Yeah,
And
they
so,
keep
like,
going back and forth a lot, right?
yeah, they
Like,
don't. They don't know.
yeah, I was
So
shocked
just
at like their like lack of like they just didn't seem like they had any kind of idea. Like, there was no plan,
no.
and it's like this is not
Yeah,
this.
you think that they would be have like a book, a manual, like maybe
Yeah.
in case this
Oh, yeah,
happens.
like, get out the pandemic book. Let's
Yeah,
go, plan B. Let's go.
Plan
But
B.
nothing,
Like,
man.
whoa, guys, this is happening. And why? And here's why you think they would have it. There are like 10 movies about exactly what happened from like
The
10 years
movie, you should
ago.
be ready.
The
It's
movies
crazy.
say exactly what happened. Like,
Yeah.
textbook, day by day, here's what happens. How come we weren't ready?
Yeah. I think the public thinks that, hey, I pay my taxes. We have these people here that do their job, and that's their job.
Right.
And that's what I thought. It's like, no, they're ready. I've gone to military installations where we practice like war games. Okay, what if a bomb landed here? Oh, this is what would
Right.
happen.
How would we
So for me,
react?
yeah, so for me, I'm like, no, there's a system. There has to be a system in place. But then when it happens, there was no system. They're like,
Nothing.
hey,
No
what do you
sister.
think we should
Everybody
do?
was like,
I
uh,
know. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's
so
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah. But hopefully this is like a learning, this is something that's gonna teach them like, hey, we gotta be prepared because this
Yes.
could happen again. And it could happen
Yes.
on a greater scale. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? This might have been
That's what
just
they're
a dry
expecting.
run.
Like this year, like at the end of this year, they're expecting for the second wave, I think they're calling it, to be worse.
Hopefully they're ready. I personally think the next thing that we're going to get in 2020, because 2020 has been so crazy, is
Hmm.
aliens. Like, literally, aliens are going to land. Like, that's what my call is, because we already had the threat of World War III, and I
Yes.
just read yesterday that India and China just killed like 20 Indians
Listen.
on their border.
Yes. And I hope you don't mind if I'm walking and talking.
No problem.
Um, yes, I agree. And that was part of one thing I was saying was that people are forgetting that there's still other things happening. Like there's still wars with thousands, millions of people dying. That's still
Mhm.
happening. And it's like we've just forgotten all about that.
The focus has been definitely on COVID
Yes.
and Black Lives, but yeah, the world keeps
Yep.
ticking. It keeps going around.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I don't know.
I don't know, like the idea of like, I guess, putting my hope in that there's a system that's gonna be ready. I think that has really been injured. I'm totally not that good anymore. Like, I've
Yeah.
always had a go bag, right? I've always had like what's called
Hmm.
a bug out bag, like in case something goes down, everything that I need
Yeah.
is in that bag and I can just grab it and go. But now it's like
Yeah.
I've been thinking like I need to build like a 72-hour go bag where I need to survive on my
Yeah.
own. Because the
With
government is
like,
like, they're ill prepared.
yeah, with food ready,
Yep. For
with
sure.
food ready and water, toilet paper. Do you know that the toilet paper was sold out in Whitby, I want to say for like a month, in every single store?
I
In
didn't
every
understand
single
the toilet
store,
paper
toilet paper,
thing. I didn't
buddy,
understand it at all.
it was sold out everywhere, like everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
understand why people were like hoarding toilet paper. It seemed strange to me,
mhm,
but it was a thing. Like, it was like a, I don't know if it was worldwide, but it was definitely like across Canada and US.
ev- everywhere, everywhere, like toilet paper, paper towel, like we
Yeah.
couldn't find it at all. It's crazy.
I know you have a lot of things going. I know you got to get going off this thing. So, can you give us a plug to where the listeners can find your music, what you're doing, things like that?
They, they can find me at Krystal Voice on Instagram.
Okay.
That is the only social media feed that I'm using at the moment.
Okay.
I do have my Facebook and like a web, all those things. They do still exist. Anything is always Krystal Voice. But the only thing that I'm actively promoting on or anything is my Instagram page.
Okay.
So
So
they
everyone
can
can
find
find
me
your
on
Krystal
that.
Voice on Instagram. Your break the video is breaking up. You still there, Krystal?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thanks for
Great.
having me.
Yeah,
I hope we'll be able to do this again, and
for sure.
I'll make
I,
sure
I love the
I'm.
panoramic roof. I have a panoramic roof on my car too. Love
Oh,
that.
do you? Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I
Do you
love
ever
it.
like go out and lay out in the sun or even at night with the stars? It's beautiful.
Oh no, I haven't done that.
Go do that.
um,
Go do it today. Go by the waterfront, wind it back, go with some
um,
company.
for sure. So hopefully people will connect with you on Instagram. I wish you guys the best, and like, yeah, I would really like to connect again. We can do
Yeah,
another
yeah,
like probably in August. Sorry, in July or August. I'll have to
sure.
find some time. That was
Sounds
great.
good.
All right, thanks a
Thanks for
lot.
having me. Let me know. Keep me posted with when the page launches.
For sure. We'll the page will be launching before the end of the month, first week in July.
Perfect.
All right. Have a good
Great.
one.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a shorty but a goodie. That was Krystal Voice, singer, songwriter, businesswoman, up and coming star. Check her out on Instagram and on Facebook. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Toasted Soul. Thank you for listening and supporting Toasted Soul. Visit us at toastedsoul.com to leave comments or book guest appearances and to get news on Toasted Soul. Please join us again next week. And as always, live with soul.